Hi traders, Nathan Bray here from ACY Securities. Now, the US inflation data, CPI data, came out last night. So it came out stronger, so it's growing. This inflation is still growing based on the CPI. So it's grown only though by 0.1%. The target for the month was to grow by 0.2%. So in that sense, it's pulled back a little bit on how fast it's growing, but it's still growing nonetheless. Now, if you look at the core inflation, it hit the target, the expectation bang on. Okay, so it was at 0.4%. Now, that being said, there's no real reason that I'm seeing why the Fed mightn't continue its tightening stance into next month. The first week of May, we could see a rise here by 0.25%. Now, keep in mind that Mary Daly came out from the San Francisco Fed, and she also commented that the economy overall is still growing. It's still strong in her opinion. Now, whether or not she's just pumping her own book, we don't know. But that being said, also, you would think if it's still strong, regardless of the rapid rate rises that the US economy has had to endure, then perhaps they will continue to fight this core inflation continuing to grow and the inflation itself, CPI, growing a little bit. Now, we also heard from the ECB Vice President suggesting that this inflation is sticking around longer than anticipated and this core inflation is becoming a bit of a problem. So when I match those things together, the words from literally the horse's mouth, I could say to myself, there's no real reason why I can't see them continuing to tighten, even though inflation has pulled back a bit, it could continue to grow. You throw in the fact that you've got, say, in the bond market, this 10-year yield is now looking pretty stable. There was a lot of conjecture suggesting that the 10-year yield was dropping and may very well be the market anticipating a pause in interest rate rises in the US or around the world, or we could see them even reverse or start to pivot or do some cuts. So because it's so stable, I'm not really seeing that. And the reason I think we've got a bit of a pullback in the yield is primarily because all this liquidity from central banks has had to go into the market. What do they do with this liquidity? Well, they've been going in maybe, I can't say this officially, but they could be putting money into the bond market. As a result, the treasury bonds don't have to offer a high yield to gain the business because there's someone there from the Fed literally pressing the buy button non-stop. So therefore, that could be a reason why we're seeing a bit of a pullback in the yield. So the takeaways from me, the thing that I want to look at is tonight. The PPI data, the producer price index, is what I'll be watching. Last night was like Act 1, but now I want to see, because think about it this way. The producer price index, if their prices are still rising, they'll have to pass that on perhaps to the consumer, which will be the CPI. So if we continue to get strong PPI tonight, then we could be saying to ourselves, well, those prices could then reflect in a continually strong a CPI moving ahead, and therefore interest rates are going to have to rise. So the key level I'm looking at before I make any trading decisions at the moment is this US dollar index. I know I spoke to you recently about this 101 level, this 101 sort of 20 to 40 level. It's been a major weekly support level. Now it's been bouncing off here numerous times over the last few months. Now that's the level that I'm seeing as a reason why I mightn't continue to just dive into US dollar weakness. I really want to see this broken and that support starting to become resistance, suggesting there's a major long-term change in trend. So looking at this euro dollar, I'm looking at 110 as a major significant psychological and technical level that I want to see it hold above to suggest that this US dollar weakness could continue and this euro could continue to go higher. On the other side, I'm watching this US dollar index as mentioned. Now, For other opportunities, as we've been pointing out over the last few weeks, looking at things like the Aussie against the US dollar, for potential shorting opportunities, and also this New Zealand against the US dollar as well. Well, that's all from me. Good luck with your trading and have yourself a great end to the week.